So the first thing you're going to need is paper. I'm going to be using copy paper for today, but if you don't want your Sharpie colors bleeding through, I would recommend using a thicker art paper. So then you're going to need Sharpies. So I'm going to use the thicker Sharpies, not the thin ones. And these are the colors I'm going to be using. I have them sorted in rainbow order, which I would recommend using or doing if you are using multiple colors, because you can also use just 1 or 2 Sharpie colors. I'd recommend using a lot, but it's up to you. So these are the Sharpies I'm going to use. And then lastly, you're going to need a black gel pen. This is a black ballpoint pen. Oh yes, and then there's also a white gel pen. This is optional. You don't have to use one, but I think it's fun to use to add decorations to our design. So let's get started. All right, so I have my Sharpies out, which is what you're going to be using first. So I'd recommend starting with yellow if you are planning on using yellow, because it's the lightest color, and you're going to be overlapping your colors a little bit. So if you're using yellow, I'd recommend starting with it because you don't want to be going over the top of darker colors with this light color. So we're going to start with yellow. And just before you start, think of the dimensions of how big you want your design to be. I'm going to make mine pretty big so you can see it, but it's up to you what size you do. So I'm just going to start with a little yellow scribble on the side. So the Sharpies are going to be used to look like graffiti and like spray paint a little bit. So we're just going to kind of scribble all over and make it look like just random spray paint strokes. So I'm going to start like this. And then I'm going to take my orange, my next color, and I'm going to overlap and do a bunch of random squiggles like that. You can make it a little bit thicker if you want. And then I'm going to take my next color, the green. Oh wait, I was going to use pink after the whatever. So I'm going to overlap that. Ooh, that looks nice. You can do all these little loop-de-loops and fun shapes everywhere. Then I was going to use purple after that. So again, I'm just overlapping it. I recommend making the colors pretty thick in the middle here. You can leave some white spaces here, but I think it's helpful to have most of the paper covered with color in the center. And then I'm going to use blue. And again, I'm going to overlap it. So see, I'm going to make a cloud shape type thing. Have it kind of taper at the ends. And then I have 2 more colors. I'm going to use my aqua. And then my light green, and that's going to go on the end. It does not have to be neat or tidy or anything. So if you want to fill in some white spaces in the middle, go ahead and do that now. And then we're going to move on to our black gel pen. So now that we have our little spray paint cloud done, we're going to move on to the black gel pen. I'm going to write the name Charlotte on here, and just think of what size you want to do. I'm going to make my word about this size, most of it, but leaving some space on the outside for some decorations. So I'm going to start each letter by making a neat letter, but it's totally okay if you mess up because we're going to make it look messy. So I'm going to start with the C right here with my black gel pen. Like that. And so see, that's fairly neat, but we're going to keep going over it really messy like this. And I recommend just like keep going over one part a bunch using the curves and making it really dark by going over it a bunch of times. And all the lines do not have to be on top of each other. See how it's nice and messy like that? So I'm going to do the same with an H. I'm going to do a block letter like that. And then I'm going to add a bunch of messy lines and just like keep doing that. And then so I'm just going to do that with the rest of my letters, doing block letters, and they do not have to be perfect, like I said. And you just kind of keep going over each line segment. You can do all sorts of little loop-de-loops to decorate it. Just make it really messy. And if you get a little squish, that's okay, because you can kind of smush your letters together. Ooh, this O is going to be fun. And if you want, you can sketch out where you want your letters to be with pencil first. That might be helpful in case you end up needing to overlap letters like I am doing. So each letter looks nice and messy now. So it's all these letters, and you can go back and make it even more messy. And especially if your background colors are kind of dark, it helps to go over with this black gel pen a bunch of times so you can really see those letters. There. So now that we've finished writing the word, it's time to add some decorations around the word if you want to. So here are some examples of ones I've used before. These are some triangles, and these are fun to do coming out from the sides of your word or anywhere, but I like to do it on the sides like that. I use the same gel pen for this shape, and these are just kind of the messy lines, kind of like the letters. And then this, I made some of the lines wider to make it look three-dimensional. And this shape has the gel pen on it to make it look like it's shiny, and this also has the wide lines to make it look three-dimensional. Here's some other fun shapes that you can do. This is the messy line circle, this is the three-dimensional circle, and this is the three-dimensional circle with the shine mark on it. So polka dots are also fun, and so here's the same sequence of other shapes. You've got triangles, these brick-looking things. These are fun because it looks like there's bricks in the background of your graffiti, so I might do that. And then I've also got some squares over here. So you can really do whatever you want with your decorations. So I am going to get started on my decorations. I'm going to start with my little triangles right here because I really like doing those. So I have finished doodling all around my word, and I may have gone a little crazy with all these different doodles, but it was really fun. So you can add as many or as little doodles as you would like. I also want to say if you have more than one color of these Jelly Roll gel pens, that would be a fun thing to add. If you have more colors, you could do more colors than just white around it if you want. And then also another note on the Sharpies, I noticed as I was doing this, the black doesn't show up very well on this dark purple Sharpie color. So as you're doing this, keep in mind that your Sharpie colors, you're going to want them to be kind of a neon, really bright color so that the black will show up on it. And that's it. There's your design.